Freeze.
This Christmas Day matchup. It's the Bengals and the Saints next on Madden Football.
From a city that has hosted 10 Super Bowls, here's a look inside the Caesars Superdome in New Orleans. Coming up, we've got a good matchup on tap between the Cincinnati Bengals and the New Orleans Saints. And he returns this to the 22. Here come the Bengals, and CD, of course, it's Joe Burrow out of LSU at quarterback.
I like this guy, and the reason I do, he tends to stand an even keel, doesn't let too much ruffle him. He will manage the game the way it needs to be managed, take what the defense gives him, and then he can strike at times. Had a touchdown pass. Yes, he had an interception last week, but he found a way for his team to win.
And some room to work. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. Now, after the running play, we've got a man down on the field. Not something you want to see in Week 16 or any week, really. We'll be right back. From up near the 40 now after the big play to start, here's another 1st and 10. Burrow's throw caught by Higgins. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40.
Quarterbacks love slant routes because the receivers are breaking right into their line of vision, and receivers love them as well because they're getting the ball on the move and able to catch it and try and get upfield and gain additional yardage.
A run on 1st down, but it's not going to get him much. Maybe a yard, and that's all. The numbers for Mixon last week, 18 carries, 88 yards, and a touchdown.
Well, he's the number 2 runner in the league, and you just know the offensive line wants to get him to number 1 because most of the good ball carriers, they take care of their linemen. Could be a gold watch in their future if he becomes a leading rusher.
And he's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
Defensively here, you're facing a top 5 team in terms of points scored in the NFL. So when they're that high powered, you've got to find a way to hold them under 20, because to me, that's the magic number. 20 points scored gives yourself you give yourself your best chance to win.
So if they're up around 24, 28, 30, they could be in some trouble.
I think so, because then you turn it into a shootout, and that means your offense has to keep pace.
So on 4th down, off goes Burrow. On comes Evan McPherson for the Bengal field goal. This from 54 yards away. McPherson's kick is good. And the Bengals are on the board first here. It's 3-0. They were probably hoping to get him a little bit closer for a shorter field goal, but he was able to get it done from deep.
Nice little tester for him to begin things, huh? I think he was open for a little bit more of a chip shot. Instead, they made him stretch it out a little bit, but he's got to feel great now that he put it through the pipes.
Well, it's a pretty good return here, so we'll get this up to the 29. On 1st and 10, Hill sliding out of the pocket. That's to his running back. It's Alvin Kamara. And he almost made it, but just short. Finally out of bounds, right down around the goal line. A big play there on the catch and run. Well, that didn't take long. One play, and we're already looking at a 1st and goal situation. Kamara. And they will stop him after a fairly minimal pickup. The numbers there for Kamara from a week ago. 16 carries, 68 yards.
Well, this is where it becomes a challenge for the offensive coordinator. He's got a bell cow at tailback right now, number 3 in the league in rushing, within shouting distance of the lead. But at the same time, if the passing...
And he'll get in. He's over for the touchdown. The sneak successful from a yard out. And the Saints have taken the lead.
And the sneak works on 2nd and goal. They didn't wait until it was 4th down to try and get him across.
No, and I think if you're the QB, you like these plays, don't you? I mean, you want to hand it off sometimes, but also prove that you can get it in there as well.
Yeah, it makes you really part of the gang, doesn't it? It makes you part of the crew, and it really bonds you with those big offensive linemen because then you get to celebrate with the big fellas.
What's good on the extra point, and that makes it a 7-3 lead. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And he'll just sit on this one as their drive will start at the 25. Cincinnati coming back onto the field here for their second drive. And fortunate to get points on the board last time. They had to hit a really long field goal to do so.
The kickers in today's game are so good and so skilled and hit from distances that we almost start to take them for granted, and we can't do that. That's a long field goal that they got 3 points out of. They've got to feel good about that, and they better make sure they love him up because he's helped them out.
Yeah, now we'll see if that offense can put 6 on the board here. We'll see. 2 yards on the carry there. It'll be 2nd down. And, CD, you look at this defense, what kind of pressure are they under trying to stop a team that has won 5 games in a row?
Well, to me, it makes their job harder because you know you're going up against an offense that's playing at an elite level, and sometimes you can get too caught up in trying to play the perfect game. You're trying to be too precise, too fine, instead of just letting it rip. And I think that's more the priority than trying to be absolutely perfect.
This defense for the Saints, they played extremely well last week in the win over Atlanta.
And every defensive team that we talk to, they spend a lot of time talking about creating turnovers. And anytime you get 2 or more in a game, you've had a really good performance. They exceeded that number in a huge way. They got the football back 4 times in the win.
A throw there, but that's going to wind up incomplete. Here's Thomas Morstead on now to punt it away on 4th down. Deontay Harris deep for New Orleans. He was only asked to punt once in the victory last week as he sends this one away. And this will be touched by a member of the kicking team inside the 20, and it's at the 17-yard line. Out comes the Saints offensive unit and the NFC playoff race. Let's have a look at it. And you can see, as many of you already know, they have clinched the NFC South. But as it stands, Charles, they would still need to host a game on Wild Card Weekend.
And that's a good thing for them because coming out of your division, getting to the playoffs with an opportunity to host to start the playoffs, that's a pretty good way to get things going. Whoever came out of this division, we knew that they were going to be playoff ready, and this team certainly is.
On 2nd down, Kamara, and he is met in his tracks behind the line of scrimmage. He'll lose a yard on the play, so now they need 3 yards on 3rd down.
This defense is a difficult one to prepare for, one of the best in the league. They'll come at you from all angles, and they did a nice job there stopping him for a loss.
A nickel look now for the Bengals as they try to stop him here on 3rd down. Hill now to throw. Hard throw, incomplete.
And this is what you want to see from a defense. Give up an opening drive touchdown, that's fine. But how about them going back out there, recommitting themselves to the task at hand, and forcing a 3 and out and giving the ball back to their offense.
So a change of possession here on the punt. And the Bengals will take over here 1st and 10. The Bengals getting set to go. The crowd maybe losing just a little bit of the edge after back-to-back punts.
They want some big plays. They want to see some offense. They want to see somebody break away, whether it's through the air or on the ground. Now it'll be interesting to see where the patience is on both sides. Each head coach, can you hang in there and not try and force something that could put your team in some jeopardy?
And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line.
Now that was pretty. They executed that curl route versus zone coverage, and that changes things a little bit because against man, it's often a tight curl, a sharply run route. Against zone, you're just looking for that open spot, that dead area, so you make curl a little bit wider just to get to that place.
And usually a tight window. He fired a bullet in there for the completion.
No sense risking anything there on first down. Even though he's still in the pocket, he had a receiver out to his side, so just put that in a spot where the only people who could make a play on it are the trainers and the coaches. Well done.
And he takes this up right near the 45-yard line. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a third down.
That second down play call was not to pick up the first down. It was to accomplish what they did to get them into a manageable third down because they had the incompletion on first down, so they were behind the sticks, so to speak. They needed to make up some ground, and they did.
And the pressure will get to him. He goes down. Now there is a flag on the play, but this looks like holding on the offense. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it and brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
They'll get 9 yards on the return there following a punt of 42. And the Saints will take over with a first down and 10. The New Orleans offense set to take over. And on the last go-around, they really couldn't get anything going.
They had to punt from deep inside their own territory, which means you're going to lose the field position battle as a general rule. What they're looking for now is a little more consistency, move the ball at least a few times on offense, get a couple of first downs, and hopefully flip the field.
Yeah, just something to build off of. That's what they're looking for here. Escaping the pressure right. Oh, he'll look downfield for Kamara. And this is caught right along the sideline. What a job of keeping the toes in bounds there. A big play that time through the air. 36 yards. So the big play moves him all the way across midfield to the 40 now for first and 10. Off of play action. Hill. He's going to let it go again. And it's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I like the thought process there. They connected on a big play, and sometimes you find the defense vulnerable. So they went for the bigger shot, went for it all on that one. This time, they were ready for it.
Second and 10. Now a handoff. Here's Kamara. And little room to maneuver there. He gets it down to about the 39. They do get a yard there, but only a yard. Leaves them with 3rd and 9 looming. They go play fake, and it's Hill. And this pass broken up. And the contact well timed there, and now 4th down. And his kick is good. He got every bit of that one as it's good from 56 yards out. So he's been automatic to this point of the season, and he connects on the field goal there.
And what a luxury it is to have a kicker you can depend upon, partner, because he hasn't missed all year long. Converts on that one as well. And kudos to you. You didn't jinx him.
From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And ultimately cannot get this out to the 25-yard line as he's dropped it to 23. The Bengals drive about to get going. And hoping to do better than they did their last possession when they punted the football.
Appeal to the vanity of your offensive line. Tell them they control your fate. Leverage guys. Win the line of scrimmage. If you do that, you start to win first down. You win second down. And guess what? You start accumulating first downs. And that's what they need in order to not punt the ball again.
Start of the second quarter, and it's the Bengals in control of the football as they've got it with a 1st and 10. Here's Burrow. And that one's going to be off target and incomplete.
A lot of times it's that first read that you have. Maybe you get it in pre-snap. He locked in on his target, but he was covered quite well, and that one's incomplete.
So after the incompletion on first, now 2nd and 10. They're passing here. Joe Burrow. That's caught by his tight end, Uzomah. And he goes out right around the 39. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5.
And Brandon, as you know, sometimes it's a lot tougher to run with these tight ends nowadays in the NFL. They're just bigger wide receivers. He lined up on the left side of formation, ran a drag route across the field, and tried to work his way open. He was able to make the catch, but the defenders were there, couldn't do a whole lot with it afterwards.
And he is going to have a Bengals first down by about a yard as they find a way to convert there on 3rd down and 5.
Yeah, they really needed to get something going, didn't they? They had punted on the last 2 possessions. The running game starting to come to the front for them, providing a nice pickup there to keep this drive going.
Throwing now, Burrow on 1st down. It's incomplete. Took a shot, couldn't connect.
I'm sure that pass was incomplete as they made an attempt to get a big one downfield. But that's okay because the second part of that is if you don't get the completion, at least you've told the defense you're trying to stretch them out a little bit, and they may have to change accordingly.
And flags come in as he gets forward for about 3 yards. Well, let's check on the call. So this will be accepted as it moves the offense backwards. Now after the holding call, here's 2nd and 20. From the shotgun, Joe Burrow. Got an open man. That's C.J. Uzomah. 6 yards is the pickup, and that'll lead to a 3rd down. That's a staple of this offense. Drag route to the tight end.
Yeah, he's unable to use his size to break off much more yardage after the catch, but still an effective gain nonetheless.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. And the Saints pressure gets him. Brought down for a sack. Pete Warner able to get him down for a loss of 11. And it brings up 4th down. So they're forced to punt on 4th as this one's away. On the return, Harris. A very good kick there, but 15 yards on the return. And the offense will take over with a new set of downs. Alvin Kamara and the Saints set to start their next drive. A good job in the passing game, decent job in the running game, but really they've been more effective through the air. We'll see if that shifts at all as this goes on.
Thus far, it feels like they're calling this game in reverse. Normally you run to set up the pass. Here it feels like they're passing, hoping to set up the run and be more effective later on in the game.
Yeah, you can do it both ways. We usually talk about it in the reverse, however.
No doubt about it.
On 1st down, Hill. Flush to his right. He's got his all-pro receiver, Michael Thomas, and able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. So from the 39 now, they'll come up on a 1st and 10. Now a 1st down carry. It's Kamara. The tackle that time by Zach Cunningham. Sometimes it's hard to take your eyes off this guy at the linebacker position. He can really cover some ground, and he did there to make that play.
And sometimes all of your best laid plans of play design, your X's and O's, they can't always account for individual effort defensively. And this was one of those times. Just a terrific play to hustle over there and get the running back to the ground.
Kamara gets it again on 2nd down. And he's got this down almost to the 20 before he's dropped.
That was good, tough running right up the middle. And if the defense can't penetrate and make him slow his pace or change direction, that's often the end result.
On 1st down, it's Hill. Out to his left. And he fires one incomplete.
They've given up a few 1st downs on this drive, but getting the incompletion there, that should give them something to build on and maybe turn the tide.
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Hill. Out of the backfield, that's complete to Kamara. And they've got it inside the 10 at the 8.
And they'll use him out in the backfield, and sometimes quite a bit. They're just trying to get him touches any way they can. 4 catches a week ago. There's another one right there.
Try to pound it in, Kamara. They'll get this halfway home from the 8 to the 4 on a gain of 4. So that run gets them about halfway home.
Yes, now 2nd and goal. The end zone beckons. It looms. They can do whatever they want. Full playbook. Run it again, or they can go play action and try and put it in that way.
Again, Kamara. And he's maybe going to get this back to the 4, but that's about all. It'll go as no gain on the play, and now they're looking at a 3rd and goal. 2 straight shots on the ground. Now on 3rd, do you go to the air?
I think the possibility exists, and if you're doing it, you're probably going play action since you ran it twice. But I often think that 2nd down is the time you go play action and throw the ball. I say commit to the run and think about it being 4 down territory.
A big play forthcoming. Here's 3rd and goal. Back to throw. Hill rolling to his left. And he's got it. Touchdown, Saints. A great play there. His 3rd touchdown now on the year. And the Saints add on to their lead. There was no going through the progressions on that touchdown pass.
Yeah, nor was it necessary. His receiver won that route early, presented himself. No reason to wait. Go ahead and put it on him and score a touchdown.
Lutz with the extra point, and the lead is now 17-3. So that drive in total 8 plays, and it all culminates in a Saints touchdown. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And he's up past the 20 to the 22-yard line. Cincinnati set to take over once again. And right now these guys, they're shuffling a little bit, maybe doubting, because 3 straight drives have ended with them punting the football away.
Yeah, so you start pointing fingers at each other a little bit, asking a lot of questions. What are you seeing? What are you getting? Maybe trying to narrow down your playbook a little bit and maybe get simpler rather than more complex in order to try and fashion together a drive.
Demario Davis there on the stop. And we've hit the 2-minute mark in this first half of action. Coming up at halftime, I'll go from one personality, that's you, Charles Davis, to another one in Orlando, the coach. He'll have stats and scores from around the NFL. You and Jonathan Coachman, both larger than life.
No doubt about it.
But you're stuck with me in this booth,
Yes,
and he's miles away and smiling.
And happy.
Well, they would have gotten the conversion if he could hold on. Instead, the drop means it'll be 4th down. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as he'll punt it away for the 4th time today. They'll net only 35 here following a 43-yard boot, 8-yard return. And that will come the offense as they take over. Getting set for their next drive, the New Orleans offense. And still plenty of time remaining here in the half, more than a minute. And we'll see if they just want to protect that lead or try to add on to it.
Well, with as much time as is left on the clock, I would imagine it would be the latter. I think they're going to try and add on to it. So what they're going to tell the team is very simply, if you can get out of bounds after making a play downfield, terrific. If you can't, everyone hustle to the line of scrimmage, either run another play or clock it and start over again.
A big connection on that one, 33 yards. So the big play changes the complexion of things. Here's 1st and 10 just outside the 30. Trying the left side with Kamara. And he sneaks his way forward only for a couple here. 2nd down. The Saints going to call the first of their timeouts, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number 1. Throwing on 2nd and 8. Hill eluding the pressure right. And he's got his target, Harris. Touchdown, New Orleans. A great effort there. His 2nd touchdown on the season. And the Saints now add 6 to their lead.
That score that they just gave up there, that's a tough one for their defense to swallow because they've had a tough time through the first 2 quarters. They really were determined to get a stop there, unable to do so. That makes their comeback hopes that much more difficult.
Wants to try to add the PAT. And the lead now to 3 touchdowns at 21 points. Scoring summary, 3-play drive. And it ends with a touchdown for New Orleans. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. From a yard or 2 deep, here comes a return. And he's going to be out of bounds. Here's the run back. We'll leave him shy of the 20-yard line. The Bengals going to take over late in this first half. And with a 3-score deficit staring them in the face, they might have to press the issue here and try to get points out of this drive. First down. Here's Burrow. Into a sea of defenders and intercepted. Picked off by the corner, Bradley Roby. And his guys are going to get the football at the 37-yard line. So the interception there, and Charles, I'd imagine that's something you can maybe live with in December, but not come January.
And I love how you make the distinction there. You're talking about regular season versus the postseason, the playoffs. Because these guys, they've already clinched a playoff spot, but they know, looking ahead, when they get into the postseason, they've got to take better care of the football because turnovers in that situation, they really become magnified.
Now we'll get a quick timeout called by New Orleans, number 2. As they'll stop it with 25 seconds to go here in half number 1. Hill on first down. Touchdown! That's caught. Michael Thomas as the first half is winding down. And the Saints will instill their lead here just before halftime.
They have really had their way so far in the first half, but they wanted to continue to build on their lead. They know that no lead is safe in this league, so they decided to try their best to get one more as they headed into the half, and they got it done.
Lutz will look to add the extra point. And that'll increase their lead to 28. The long touchdown pass gets him 6 on a very, very tidy 2-play drive that time. So not much time to speak of remaining in this first half as the kick's away. From a couple yards deep, he'll bring it out of the end zone. And the decision to come out of the end zone is going to cost him 5 yards as he's taken down right at the 20. The Bengals drive about to get going. And we'll see what they opt to do with just 14 seconds remaining until intermission. Well, they're just going to run it here up the middle. And he'll just push his way forward for a few as the clock will run. Just a yard on the pickup there. They'll bring up a 2nd and 9. So we've reached halftime here on Christmas Day. As we'll get you over to Orlando, where standing by is Jonathan Coachman. He has our EA Sports Halftime Report.
All right, Brandon, thank you very much. Happy holidays to you all at home as we take you around the NFL on this 25th day of December. We'll begin out west at Levi Stadium in Santa Clara. And as you see, they were winners back on Thursday night. Trey Lance, strong in the victory as it pushes his guys back above the 500 mark on the year. From there, we make the trip east as we head all the way to Jacksonville to check on the Jags. And they were winners in that one over the visiting LA Chargers. Trevor Lawrence, strong in the victory as it pushes his guys back above the 500 mark on the year. Lastly, we're off to the Rocky Mountains, Denver, Colorado. See what's happening with the Broncos. And they trail in that one to the visiting Las Vegas Raiders. Chris Godwin, a touchdown reception. Time now for a check of the next-gen stats for the Bengals in that first half. And not much went right in those first two quarters. You can see the numbers on the ground there. Not a whole lot to write home about so far. Meanwhile, for the Saints, you get a look at what they were able to do throwing the football. And whatever they've done, it's worked, as they have the lead through 2 quarters of play. Final adjustments being made for the second half. Whether they'll amount to much in a game that's already pretty well decided, well, that's another question. Nevertheless, let's get you back out to Brandon and Charles.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Yeah, that's something to consider. Are we in for more one-way traffic here in the second half? It has not been a competitive game to this point. And here comes a return from just beyond the goal line. And a good return, able to get out across the 35 to the 36. And as this offense makes their way back out, NFC playoff race time, we give you a look at what's going on there. A good starting spot for the Saints as they come up 1st and 10 at their 36-yard line. They start the second half with Kamara. And he'll be taken down at the 46-yard line. Seemed like a couple sets of eyes were on the quarterback, so he decided, hey, I'm going to hand this off. Got a good gain out of it.
And you know you need good blocking up front in order to gain yardage, but every one of these RPOs, if you do it right and they look the same, whether it's handed off inside or the quarterback keeps it, that allows you to fool the defense so often. And in this case, fooled them with the inside run.
So 1st and 10, and if they score on this drive, might have to start digging in our second half blowout material. And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. 50 yards rushing for him now as he's run it 11 times.
Well, you certainly have to give a little credit here because they're playing this game now at their pace. This is ball control football, sustained runs, taking their time and making it work.
Now Hill looking to throw on first. And he'll be taken down by the Bengal pressure. He couldn't get rid of it. He takes a sack for a loss of 6 to bring up second down. Now a toss. Kamara left side. Able to pick up a healthy chunk of yards, 7-yard gain, but a tough 3rd and 9 upcoming.
I know the toss play begins with the guy taking the snap and turning around and tossing it to the runner, but where the real intrigue is, can they seal the edge, whether it's an offensive tackle or a tight end in the direction they want to run the football. If they do that, that's the result that you get, that type of a gain. If they don't, oftentimes it's not a very successful play.
They'll get 6 there on the run, but it brings up 4th down.
And there's a run to be happy with. Good, solid yardage. He'll take that anytime you hand the ball to a back.
And Lutz puts this one through. And they're well on their way now as the lead grows even larger. So put another 3 on the board. All things considered, a good opening drive to begin the 3rd quarter.
And as a defense, the way that this game is going, you're excited to see those points go on the board. Gives them a little bit of leeway to play with when they're out on the field, but they're real excited to see their offense score. Now they get to go out there and do their part.
And beyond the 20, but not by much. In fact, just a yard pass there to the 21. So here are the Bengals now as they get their first possession of this second half. They are right now just ice cold. I mean, they have struggled big time in this game, and they're getting blown out. How do they adjust?
So tough because we always talk about it being a team game, and you need all 11 working well together. But every now and then...
And Burrow going to be hit and taken down. They got him. They'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's second down.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Well behind the sticks here with a 2nd and 18. Another try after the first down sack. Burrow. And that will be incomplete. Trying to dial up the long way out there, but it'll be third down. He's had trouble finding open receivers all game, CD, and that's because really there hasn't been many. This defense has been all over them.
Yeah, they're one of the better defenses in the league, and every time I talk to someone around the NFL, they all say the exact same thing. They're so fundamentally sound, it's hard to execute against them.
And out of bounds across the 15-yard line. They stop him for only 3 that time, and that'll bring up fourth down.
That's certainly playing down and distance very well by the defense, isn't it? Take whatever you want underneath, by all means.
Here's Thomas Morstead now, standing just outside his own goal line. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. Harris now to return. 43-yard punt, but they get 9 back on the return. And possession will switch hands, 1st and 10. The offense and Alvin Kamara heading back onto the field. On the other side, they've had trouble stopping him not only on the ground but through the air. He's hit the century mark running the ball. He's approaching that receiving it.
I'm starting to think, Brandon, we're going to have to start judging running backs by a little bit different standard, and we know the gold standard now is 1,000 yards running the football. But I think we've got to start looking at all-purpose yards, yards from scrimmage. That's probably a better measure of what you're getting from these backs, because look at the game we're getting here. He's run it well, but overall his damage has been done catching it.
Yeah, and I'm curious to see if that will continue. Well, they'll run it here on the jet sweep. And he got blown up. Losing yardage on the play back at the 44. That's going to go down as a loss of 5, and it brings up third down. That's the danger, Charles, of running plays like this for your wide receiver. They can hit big or they can be duds.
Yeah, you're exactly right about that, because if they're forced to try and go around defenders behind the line of scrimmage, sometimes you can give yardage in order to gain it. But in this case, they gave yardage and didn't get it back.
Throwing on third down, Hill. He's going to float this one deep right side. And that's going to wind up incomplete. Nearly their first pick of the game, but it does bring up fourth down. Now on fourth down, on is the punt team sending this one away. It's a 40-yard punt, 4 yards on the return. Now this Bengals offensive unit ready to see what they can do here. These guys had to punt their last possession, and that's become too familiar of a refrain. Too many of these drives just wound up going nowhere.
Well, you know how in baseball, when the pitcher gets a base hit and he's on base, they bring his jacket out to him to keep him warm? A lot of times the punter goes to the sideline, puts on sweatpants or a wrap over his leg to keep it warm. He might need a massage from the trainer right now from all the work he's getting. This defense is just flat getting after it. They have not given up much of anything in the run game. Case in point right there.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11. Burrow looking to pass. Throw right side, pulled in by Higgins. And able to break one tackle, but then quickly brought down. But a nice little gain. The reception good for 7. It's third down. Now it's Burrow. Open man, it's complete to Higgins. And he is going to have a Bengals first down as they're able to get the third down conversion.
All right, let's just go ahead and walk through this one pretty easily, right? Blast off the line of scrimmage, get downfield to a certain point, usually around 8 to 10 yards, turn around and make sure the quarterback sees your numbers and set yourself up for the pass.
A well-executed curl route by Charles Davis. And he is going to lose yardage here. He'll lose a yard there, and it's 2nd and 11.
Well, we saw a lot of negative plays that resulted in plenty of lost yardage in the first half, and that trend is continuing here.
Evans gets it again on 2nd down, and he'll be upended at the 33 following a gain of 3. And guess what? It brings up third down.
Brandon, all things considered, they have to feel pretty good about getting that type of a gain considering the blitz that they just had against them.
These guys have punted 4 times already, and they're staring at a 5th, barring a conversion here on third down. From the shotgun, it's Burrow. Out to the left, he's got Sample there. And he'll go out of bounds it looks like right at the 40. They get 7 there, but it brings up 4th. Here's Thomas Morstead now, as they're forced to kick for the 6th time today. Harris to return. They call that a punt of 38 yards officially. Back out onto the field now comes the New Orleans offense. And they're coming off a 3-and-out, my friend.
I think they've got to look at that play sheet and go to a spot that they haven't gone before. Time to shake things up a little bit to try and get this offense moving.
Okay, so how do you do that? How do you shake things up? And he can't get rid of it. He's taken down. It looks like a 12-yard loss there on the first down sack.
But when you see a quarterback retreating away from the line of scrimmage toward the other goal line like that, usually doesn't end well.
You're exactly right about that. Normally, if they're moving from side to side, they've got a chance maybe to get back upfield. He was trying to shake defenders and extend the play, but it doesn't work out very well for them at all. You need those extra yards on the other side of the line of scrimmage. Now you're digging a hole for your offense.
Now it's Kamara in the passing game. And this one will go to the 28-yard line. The Saints on 3rd down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is 3rd and 7. Now it's Hill.
Oh, this will be incomplete. The rush gets home just as he was letting that go. That could have been worse. Instead, it's 4th down.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he's on to kick it away. It'll be a 44-yard punt. The return goes for 8. Defensively, you said coming in earlier in the broadcast, the magic number was 20 points for you. That's what you thought they would have to hold this offense to, or less than that. And, wow, they've done that in a big way, haven't they?
Not only have they done it, they put themselves in a great position to win this one because holding them down was paramount. If they could get it done, well, guess what? We see the end result. Right now, they have their eye on victory.
And leading here in the 4th. Meanwhile, they take a shot to start the drive, but this is going to wind up incomplete.
This defense was definitely alert to the possibility of the deep ball, and they were more than ready for it.
They've got the lead, 4th quarter. Maybe can expect more passes like that downfield. Now here's a throw that's complete. And they bring him to the ground just shy of midfield.
Well, this game was decided a while ago, and that completion there is going to artificially inflate his passing numbers. So right now, the only one really applauding probably his agent as he thinks about angling for a new contract.
Now Burrow on 1st down. This one hauled in by Sample. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35.
Well, this game is certainly pretty well over. They can go ahead and mark it in the win column. But as a defense, they don't want to get so soft now that everybody just throws the ball all over the place against them, gets big yardage, and puts points on the board. They have pride, too, on that side of the ball.
On 1st and 10, Joe Burrow. He'll take a shot for the end zone.
And this one almost intercepted. Had a chance to come down with it in the end zone, but could not hang on.
We've seen that the deep ball's been a part of their game plan all afternoon, but they've had trouble hooking up on it, unable to successfully find the end zone over the top.
To the air again, Burrow.
On the screen, this is Evans.
Takes this to the 32, maybe the 31, and then the defense rallying quickly after that broken tackle. 5 yards, now it's 3rd and 5. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
And they'll have it in the red zone before he crosses over out of bounds.
That's a pretty throw right there. That ball's in the air a long time, but it's right on the money on the right sideline. A really good route. Moving the defenders towards the middle of the field before breaking to the sideline. What a completion there. Big-time arm strength. Very nice route.
And the Bengals are going to have a 1st and goal as he's able to take this inside the 10 to the 8.
Despite the score, despite the deficit, no quitting this guy. He's running angry, running through arm tackles. He wants to change what that scoreboard is saying.
Here we go. 56. Check 56. Here we go. Hey, can.
Here's Burrow setting up to throw it. Quick hitter here. It's complete. And just shy of the goal line as he's out of bounds right at the 1. A gain of 7 that time. 2nd goal.
And there's a completion to the tight end. And look at the size of these players nowadays. At that spot, 6'4", 6'5", and up. A lot of guys used to be basketball players. Somehow came back to football. That's really good for the game of football. You're getting better athleticism, great hand-eye coordination, guys who know how to control their bodies when they run their routes. I think this offense, specifically this running game, they're going to have to find a way to turn the page because they haven't found a way to run it effectively thus far, and it's cost them.
And he gets halfway there, down to the 1-yard line. Only a yard that time, so now a decision to be made here on 4th and goal. This defense continues to be good on 3rd down. I mean, they haven't allowed a touchdown offensively. Are you saying, let's go for this? Let's try to get it in the end zone.
I don't know about that because of what you just described. They've been so good, and they don't give up the big play that you would expect in downs 1 through 3. Watch it 4th down be any different. You might want to go ahead and kick the field goal and see if you can figure out something else as this game moves on.
So they finally get their first trip to the red zone, and it ends with nothing.
And that's what I'm going to focus on with you because you teed it up really well. Finally get to the red zone. So there's got to be a little bit of frustration because they haven't moved the ball as well as they wanted to all game. Now they get there, but we got to go for it because we don't know if we're going to get back here again. We don't know how many opportunities because they've been sputtering a little bit.
Absolutely. At this stage in the second half, to get there and not get it for the first time, tough.
2nd and 5 now. Hill. And that'll be incomplete.
Certainly appeared to take away his first read, and by the time he tried to look elsewhere and find an open target, the coverage was too good. That one falls incomplete.
To throw is Hill. And that is incomplete.
Here comes the Saints punter now, as he'll come on to kick this one away. That'll go as a 42-yard punt, and they'll be aided by a loss of yardage on the return.
Cincinnati's offense coming back here onto the field. And that 5-game win streak is ticking away here in the 4th quarter. Just haven't been as sharp in this one. Burrow going to lead up the Bengals here. 1st and 10, just shy of midfield at the 48.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive.
And they'll get him down as he's inside the 40. Offense for them has been at a premium. You wonder where plays like that have been all game long.
They're thinking the exact same thing themselves, but they're also looking forward now because now these plays are really for next week, trying to get some momentum going.
So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Here's Burrow. Oh, he's going to let this go for the end zone. And this is what here? Incomplete, they say. Looked like it was intercepted, but he apparently did not get the 2 feet down in bounds. So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Mike 36. So let's get this ball back for the offense. Let's go.
Now Burrow. Got a man and he hits him in stride. 5 yards. Now it's 3rd and 5. That time they hit him out of the slot on the drag.
And that route takes some fortitude from the guy running it because he knows he's going through the briar patch, as I like to call it, right? He's trying to work his way through all that traffic and people wanting to put a little contact on it. Really well done.
Just 2 minutes remaining here in the 4th quarter of what has been a one-sided affair.
So the Bengals in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a 1st and 10 as they search for a late score.
Again, it's Burrow. And he'll go underneath here to Evans.
And he'll be brought down this time at the 5-yard line. Will go down as a gain of 6, and it'll be a 2nd down.
Now it's Burrow. There's Evans again, complete.
And he's across for the touchdown. Too little, too late, but he does get in for 6.
No wonder you're grinning. You just beat me in our fantasy league.
Indeed I did, my good man. Extra point by McPherson, up and good. And the lead is down to 24. So the drive there took 6 plays.
So it would no doubt be a miracle comeback from here, but let's see what they can do starting with the onside kick.
And the Saints hands team able to rein this one in. Now they're down big here in the 4th. They had to try the onside kick. Can't fault them for the effort at least.
No, you can't at all. And if nothing else, now you've put something that you're trying to practice, right, that you've worked on into a game situation, and now you can go back and dissect it. So if you need it again sometime, maybe you'll find a better way to do it. But, yeah, this game's pretty much done for them.
Now he's able to break through 1 tackle, but it slowed him down enough that he could only manage getting back to the line of scrimmage. This defense starting to buckle down when they need to, and right now they're winning this 4th quarter, losing the game, but they're winning in the 4th quarter.
And what a fine line it is about what they're trying to get done, because they're down, so they obviously need the football, need a score, but they can't be so aggressive as to give up their edge, their gaps, and have the offense hit them with a big play.
Second down, and it's Kamara again.
And he'll work it inside the 30 to the 29-yard line.
78 yards rushing for him now to this point.
So from 2nd and long, now we go to 3rd and very manageable.
Yeah, they love that phrase, don't they? Because as an offensive coordinator, you can keep people a little bit off balance and guessing, because you don't have to throw it. You can come back with a strong run game if you want to. And if you're in 4-down territory, that really opens things up for you.
A man who's been busy this afternoon, it's Kamara again.
And inside the 20 before he's brought down. So this one, a victory here for New Orleans. And when you break it down, well, this was just a thoroughly dominating performance.
And I truly thought that we'd have a tight game coming into this one. I think you felt the same way based on our conversation after the production meeting, but obviously not the case. And how about just how it broke open? You know, you just all of a sudden, whoosh, there it is. This thing is pretty much done. And the crowd stayed with it to celebrate, because they're like, let's enjoy watching our team play this well. This is fun.